Hi there and welcome back to the Finance Lounge. So some good news this week. The lockdown measures seem to be easing off. Businesses are getting back to business, back to normal. One of the good things that we've seen, especially this week, is that a lot of the property side, the construction side, is starting to get back to work, which is great for us, so we can get back to our property business. Over the lockdown period, what we've done as a business ourselves is to concentrate more on our financial brokerage. Our bread and butter business has always been financial services. Like I said in the last video, I've been in this industry for over 20 years and had my own financial brokerage now for the last 15 years. So one of the things that we did is get back to running the finance side, because when things are not working on the other side, on the property side, people are always going to need money. They need to get their businesses kick-started, so we decided, right, let's just concentrate on that for now, and we can come back to the property side at a later date. So that was good in one sense, it's bad in the other, because what's going to happen now is the biggest scam out there is going to start again. Now when I talk about that, I'm talking about the property scam. These get rich quick schemes, these so-called property gurus, I think they're calling them Furus now, but these guys who claim that after and these guys have come out of the woodwork completely. I think maybe because of lockdown, people have got nothing better to do, but all of a sudden they're posting on various social media that they're property experts, property gurus. They've done loads and loads of deals, done loads of transactions, and now they're in a position to teach you on how to not only create a property business, but how to become a millionaire. Now, that's fine if there's any substance behind it. Most of these guys, like I said, it's full of bullshit, and they're no much more property guru than a guy walking down the street who doesn't know any better. And that's the problem, is it's the guy who's walking down the street, doesn't know any better, who's going to end up signing up to working with one of these guys and getting ripped off, etc, etc. So I'm going to tell you some telltale signs from these guys, these so-called Furus, property gurus, whatever you want. I call them lunatics because they talk a lot of crap, a lot of bullshit, and I'll explain why I think that. One of the things that I've done over the last couple of years is sometimes I go along to some of these hotel events. The last one I went to was a property hotel event. It was a free event. I had one of my mates going, and he said, "Oh, do you want to come along?" Now, normally I don't entertain any of this stuff, because I think, based on what I've seen in the past, it is complete and utter garbage. You're just wasting your time. You end up getting duped into something that one, you can't afford to lose the money in the first place, and secondly, you'll end up ruining what could be a lot of time and effort. And we've seen people recently who've gone right into heavy depression because they've lost so much money going to these courses, and like I said, listening to people's bullshit, and then it's going nowhere. So the usual one is, you go to one of these hotels, they invite you along for usually a 2 hour or 2.5 hour or 3 hour, whatever, hotel meeting, and usually a really nice hotel. So that's number one, it's always a nice hotel. But what we found in the past is that you go to these events and they don't pay for your parking, right? That's number one. They don't pay for your parking, and they don't even give you a tea or a coffee. Now, I'm happy to go to these places, but one thing that you need to do is at least get some sort of refreshments. You're going to sit there for 3 hours listening to some of these bullshit. I need to get at least a glass of water or something. So the last one we went to, you didn't even get that. We just went there, sat there, listen to the bullshit, the lunatic. And the reason I call them lunatics is because this guy was on the stage. He was shouting, he was swearing, they're jumping up and down, running up and down the stage, and it was crazy. Like it was like trying to create some sort of mass hysteria. But obviously you can see through that this actually person doesn't know what he's talking about, and he's actually covering it up with a whole load of garbage, bullshit, whatever you want to call it, just to mask the fact that he actually doesn't know what he's talking about, and it's just like trying to create some sort of illusion. And one of the telltale signs straight away, and it really pisses me off, these guys, they start off and they show you pictures of cars and houses and how great their lifestyle is and all this. But tend to think, usually these guys who have got a great lifestyle and etc., they don't usually talk about that. So that's a telltale sign for me. They talk about their lifestyle and how many property transactions they've done, etc. And when we've actually delved deeper into some of these, I'm not going to even call them gurus, I'm not even going to call them furus, they're just lunatics, because they act like lunatics when they're up there on the stage. Let's say the shouting, and we were at one guy was shouting, swearing, screaming, complete nutcase, like jumping up and down and running up and down the hallways and shoving mics in your face. What do you think about this? Like I say, a complete tube. So anyway, we were at that meeting, and what really annoyed me more, I think, from the fact that he didn't know what he was talking about anyway. But he started about talking about prices at near the end of it, and he came out with the first price, which was 55,000. It was like something like a charity auction or something, like, I'm not going to sell it to you for 55. I'm not even going to ask for 40. I'm not even going to ask for 30. It was like more like a game show than as opposed to a business meeting or a business event. And eventually it came down to a price at 5,995 or something around that sort of figure, and it was crazy. It was sort of like a small percentage of what he actually started off at the beginning, and you felt like saying, well, why didn't you just say that at the beginning, say it at the start, instead of all this bullshit about you can't get this price and I'm not going to give it to you that price, but I'll give it to you this price. Why not just give us the bloody best price at the beginning? If you are going to go, or stupid enough to sign up to one of these courses for 3 or 4 days of your time, to listen to someone who's actually read it in a book and decided to try and plagiarise it and explain it back to you for the benefit of duping you, basically is what it is. So anyway, so when you get to the final price, and the price might, like I said, it could be in 5,995. All of a sudden, 5 people, I think it was 5 or 6 I counted, they stood up different parts of the room, the hall, and they ran to the back. And I said, what the hell is going on here? What's happening here? Right? They ran to the back, and they were signed. I think 2 people signed up straight away for the 5,995, and the rest of them, they went to the side of the room or another room or whatever. Now this is the disturbing part. This is the bit that you really know this is where this is just pure bullshit and purely just to make a fool of you, right? Is during the meeting, which was about 2.5 hours or something like that, there was a small break in between. I couldn't call it a coffee break because there was no coffee, so it was more like a comfort break. So we had this comfort break in between the meeting, and I don't know, a chance to go into the bathroom or whatever. Anyway, it lasted about 10-15 minutes, and during this period, I think a couple of people came up and they spoke to myself, my mate, and they said, right, what is it you do? And we said, this is what we do. Are you involved in property? And I just say, let's see what they got. Yeah, we've been thinking about it, trying to get into it. We're not sure what to do, etc. I maybe came for a wee bit of guidance. I go, oh, that's good, because that's exactly what we did 2 years ago. The girl and the gentleman, like husband and wife, and they said they did the same about 2 years, weren't sure what the journey was, weren't sure what supposed to be doing, and they came to this guy's event, the Lunatic, and they decided, right, we'll sign up to it, and they paid the course. And back then the course was something like £25,000, right? So it was not even, it was usually expensive compared to what they were offering it for today. I said, all right. Now this is during the comfort break. Now, when I did say that there was 5 people jumped up and ran to the back of the room. 2 of the people who jumped up, they were sitting in different parts of the room, was that 2 idiots that we spoke to during the comfort break, right? Now, does that not start getting an alarm bell ringing? So at the end of the I said to my mate then, as soon as I see them running to the back, I go, this is complete garbage. I said, let's get out of here. I've had enough of this dodo shouting and screaming at me at the front. And he said, no, let's see what happens at the end. I go, all right, fair enough. Okay, we've wasted 2.5 hours already. Another 5-10 minutes not going to make any difference to us, I suppose. So we wait to the end, and the same couple came up to us at the end, And he said, how did you get on with the meeting? I go, oh yeah, it was something else, you know. I've actually lost for words. I don't know how to explain what I'm feeling right now. She said, all right, okay. And have you signed up? I goes, no. Why not? Why not? You know, it's a great offer. Like I said, we paid £20,000. You're only getting it for 6. I was all right. And I said, but you've been really successful, haven't you? Yeah. We've done really well. We're property millionaires now. I was okay. So why did you go back and sign up again? And this is where the colour changed in the girl's face, especially in her face. And she goes, I don't think so. I go, listen, there's one thing I'm not, and that's stupid. Now you got up and you ran into the back, and I can remember because you were wearing high heels, I could hear you running down the aisle. I said, oh, but there's hundreds of people. I goes, yeah, but listen, again, I'm not stupid. I know what you look like. You came and spoke to us for 5 minutes. And you're one of the ones that ran to the back of the room to sign up. So why are you signing up again if you've already done the course and become a property millionaire? This is part of the bullshit that you have to listen to, and what people get stuck. Now, the unfortunate thing is that the people who are going to sign up to these courses can't afford it. They're probably going to put the money on a credit card. Even worse, they're going to probably go and borrow it from a friend or a family member, get themselves in debt to sign up to one of these courses, and they're not going to learn anything, because these lunatics, right? And I'm being nice when I call this guy a lunatic. There's probably more of them out there, but this is a lunatic that I think probably most people know who he is. Talking complete bullshit to people, making a fool of people, and expecting to get away with it. Well, one of the things that the lady did say to me, oh, but, and she said this during the conference, he's written a book. Well, whoop-de-doo, he's written a book, right? So what does that tell me? He's went and read somebody else's book, changed a few words, it's called plagiarism, and he put a book out himself. Now, one of the things that we did when we used to do property courses a long time ago, we haven't done one recently, but one of the things that we did do is we would never run a course unless you're one of our clients, and one of our clients on the finance side. So you're actually actively in the property business already. And if you really wanted to know more, then we would do so. And I'm going to talk about that in another video. I'm not going to go through that now. But one of the questions that I always get is, have you written a book, Khaleel? And I say no. And there's a simple reason that is that I haven't written a book. I don't have the bloody time to write a book, because I'm too busy actually doing the job, doing the transactions, doing it day in, day out on a daily basis. If I was getting paid to run courses and sit at home most of the day, right, I'd probably write a book as well, because my intention is to make a fool of you. Like, that's fine, I'll go and copy somebody's book, but I don't have the time to do that. And I don't have the time, and I'm not going to waste money paying somebody else to do it, because I'm not that kind of person, like, right? However, listen to the lunatics out there, especially now during this lockdown period. I have to speak out. I just feel I have to tell you, like, do not be made a fool of. And that's basically what they're doing. And they're coming out with all these strategies. I think I mentioned someone was doing, in a previous video, somebody was doing a 2-hour webinar. And the 2-hour webinar was going to explain to you the difference between what a good property deal is and what a bad property deal is. And I did it as a jest, right? I did a video to say, right, oh well, a good property deal is where you actually make money, and a bad property deal is where you lose money. Now, I've had so many comments about and emails about that, it's unbelievable, and it only took me 10 seconds to tell you that. Now, I can give you loads of other examples. There is one, I'm going to leave you with this thought. I was at a property course, this is about 3-4 years ago. I got invited along, and from the actual organizer, right, which was fine. And during this course, I think we had dinner afterwards, and one of the people who were on the course came and spoke to me after dinner and explained what we did, etc. And she was just starting off in her property journey and decided that she was wanting to do this. And I goes, okay. I said, well, first things first, you need to make sure that you can get the financing, make sure that you qualify for a mortgage or a commercial mortgage or a buy-to-let, whatever case you decide you're going to be doing, depending on your strategy. I mean, if you want to go down that route. So it's fine. So she contacted me afterwards, and I spent a lot of time going through, this is what we do, this is how we explain, etc. And we were doing our fact find with the client, and it came to doing the deal. And I said to her, what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to pay for the survey report, and they're going to ask for the money up front, because they're not going to do the transaction unless the survey report has been paid for. They won't release the report, right? So which means if they don't release the report, I can't get a mortgage offer. It's that simple, right? You pay for the report, they give you the report, you get your mortgage offer. It can't be easier than that. I can't explain it easier than that. I think the report was around £400. So she came back to me and she said, look, Khaleel, I don't have £400. What should I do? I goes, well, you did say to me at the beginning when we did through our finances, we checked out, we got no issue with regards to getting the deposit, we got no issue with regards to paying the fees, we got no issue with regards to paying solicitors, and now all of a sudden you tell me that you can't find £400 to get the survey report, to get the deal, the offer out, to get the deal done, to get the transaction done. No. I goes, well, this is going nowhere. I said, on this occasion, I'm not going to charge you anything because I don't think it's fair. All you're going to do is waste more money. I think we should just call it a day. That's fine. About 4 months later, I was looking on LinkedIn, and this same lady is now, or was, or is, or whatever, now on LinkedIn running property courses on how to become a property millionaire. And according to her, or according to the LinkedIn, she's done over a dozen property deals, and she's been in the property business now for over 5 years. Bullshit. 12 property deals. Bullshit. And now she's a property millionaire. Now, unless she won the lottery, which I doubt, right? Because, well, I know, right? Because we did some digging. So that never happened. So that, so for her to claim now that she is a property millionaire, done over a dozen transactions, and also been in the business now for over 5 years. It's on her LinkedIn page. All bullshit. Because 3 months, 4 months later, before that, she couldn't give me £400 to get the survey done on the property deal. That's what you're dealing with. It's unfortunate, but this is how people are going to get caught out. So all I'm going to say is do your homework. Make sure that if you are going to do one of these bullshit courses, make sure you know who you're dealing with. In my next video, I'm going to give you some, probably go through about 10 points to look for to whether or not your guy is genuine, whether or not he's a Furu or a guru, or what I would call just a complete lunatic, and waves his arms about saying, I've done this, I've done that, I've done this, I've done that, when the reality is, you done bugger all. I would use another word, but I'm too nice a guy. Anyway, I'll see you soon. Stay safe, and that's it. Can't be easier than that, no?